Hey Siri, turn off overhead. Oh man, oh man. All right, can you guys hear me? You guys do it there all right? I don't know if it should be working. Hey Blake. All right. Sweet. Hope everybody finds me. They should. I couldn't pick up the old stream. Hey BK. God, man. Like all of a sudden, I mean, I'm in a basement and probably going to lose half the audience. I'm in a basement. So when this occurred, everything just went dark, literally where I'm standing, like all the lights went off and everything. I have a UPS, but it couldn't hold the charge worth the squat. So anyways, I think I'm just going to start over. Like just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Let me see if I can post in the old chat if it's even still up. Oh God, I tell you, man. I tell you. Just another day. Just another day. I wonder if I can get to the old one. If this is it. Yeah, I don't even think I can get to the old chat. It's not even playing. Anyways. This is fantastic. Hey, Roger. All right. Guess I'm glad I'm not doing this for a living, right? Like professionally. I tell you. Ugh. Shit. I'm honestly surprised my router connected to the internet that quick. Usually that thing takes a while to cycle, so I don't know. Like, thanks, Madison Gas and Electric. All right. I think I have it on my phone here, my old chat. Maybe. No. Screw it. All right. Where was I? Session 0. Picking up where I left off, which is unfortunate because somebody's going to come across this video and go like, what? Okay. Bear with me. Welcome, everybody. I had a power outage that was almost 30 minutes into the show and then a Bluetooth issue. And so things have gone awry. All right. We'll keep going. I'm just going to pick up the next one. Session 0. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was good. All right. Next thing I want to talk about that's come up is... Saw this on Reddit by on D&D Next Reddit. What are the best homebrew rules you encountered or made that changed the game for the better at your table? You know what? I don't want that. I don't like this one either. let's see. Here we go. Here's just some news. So this was by Reuters, main news feed. Hasbro adds 2 directors, plans to keep the Wizards unit. So if you hadn't kept up with some of the news articles that had come up before and I'd brought up on the stream before, there is a private equity group that was looking to, Altifox Capital Management is who they were, that had quite a bit of shares in Hasbro and really wanted Wizards to be spun off from Hasbro. And in trying to do that, they were trying to get a couple board seats so that obviously with a couple board seats, they could try to sway that to happening because they believe Wizards is, instead of worth, I don't know, $4 billion, I think they might have mentioned. Yeah, here it is. The company valued at 11.7. I think that's for Hasbro. They believe Wizards is got the potential to be worth like 14 billion or something crazy. So this is just an update to say that Hasbro added a couple directors and they plan to keep the Wizards unit internal. And that's kind of it. So this may be the end of Altifox Capital Management as it relates to their desire to spin Wizards off from Hasbro. We'll see. Maybe they try it again down the road. Who knows? But there we go. So now the more you know, you are up to date. Let's see. Improv for Gamers, 2nd edition by Evil Hat Productions. I don't know if you guys are interested in this. One thing one thing that struck me as soon as I heard about this was that they launched it on GameFound and not Kickstarter. Evil Hat has been a pretty dominant force on Kickstarter. I think even Fred Hicks has gone on Twitter and spoken out about how to run a successful Kickstarter. They obviously have tons of experience doing that and successfully. So, they've even done, taken over Kickstarters like Blades in the Dark and things of that nature. So I don't know if they took over the Kickstarter necessarily as the fulfillment, but nonetheless, they chose to go with GameFound for this one. So anyways, Improv for Gamers. And I don't know how GameFound works. It's the same minimums. So the goal is $15,000, 72% funded, but it's not all the way. It only has 340 backers. So this is kind of an interesting one. It's still early, but is it not getting the traction because of the subject matter, or is it not getting the traction because it's on GameFound? I don't know. I would have, it's got 26 days to go. It's well over the halfway point. So I would imagine it funds. I don't know GameFound's policy. I think Indiegogo, they get the money regardless, right? So if it doesn't fund, they can still opt to receive the funds. And I think Kickstarter, you don't. Like if it doesn't fund, they don't collect. But I'm not sure. So glad you guys, good to see you here again. Thanks for sticking with me. I know you're not going to be here long, but thanks for dropping over. Kickstarter's reach is vast compared to those other networks. It is. And I think I get an email from, I think, BackerKit or something else. It's not even BackerKit. I get an email every week or every 2 weeks. And it's Kickstarters, but it's not sent out by Kickstarter. So I think some of these, if you back a Kickstarter and they tie into another system like BackerKit or whatever, those systems keep your email and information and then they market to you. I don't know if they market other Kickstarters that are probably also using their platform. So in other words, BackerKit emails, I imagine, send out emails of Kickstarters that are using BackerKit. That would only make sense, right? But yeah, it's, well, and I mean, Evil Hat or Kickstarter or whatever, I would imagine, and maybe I'm wrong with this too, because I haven't run a Kickstarter before, is that do you, when you run a Kickstarter, have access to the email list? I know there are options to opt in to email, like, hey, would you like to receive updates and offers from us down the road? As a matter of fact, I just completed that for a Kickstarter that I just had, they needed the survey filled out for my address and stuff for fulfillment. And one of the things it asked was, do you want to receive email from us? So the question I have is it, when you send emails to the backers, is it through Kickstarter only and you never see the email address? So it's kind of like, well, we're just going to, inside the platform, do up an mass email and send it out. Because if that's the case, that kind of sucks. Because I think the value of doing a Kickstarter, obviously, is to be able to do that. Because if you're Evil Hat Productions and you've done a successful Kickstarter, input game Dresden Files or whatever, and you have, I don't know, 1,000, 5,000 backers, that's a lot of email addresses. So then when you launch Improv for Gamers, you can make up for that lack of Kickstarter domination because you have 5,000 email addresses. You hit the email list. And you do that a couple times during the campaign or even leading up to the campaign. So this one's a little, I didn't realize it would be so low. I mean, some of these Kickstarters, man, I mean, Trophy Gold, I think, like, some of these are, it's interesting because even Evil Hat is not, who's putting out Trophy, right? The Gauntlets mention them. There's a lot of social networking that goes into promoting that, but Evil Hat they're no slouches in the industry. So I'm sure it'll get funded. It's just surprising that it hasn't already. Now it's only been probably 4 days, I think, right? If it's a 30-day campaign, it's got 26 left. My math is correct. So anyways, Improv for Gamers. The one thing I think, and this is going to be a little, I don't know about this. Okay, just the one thing about this is if you look at the spread that's kind of flipping through and the artwork, I don't know. For me, it's like Improv for Gamers. What would a book like that look like? And they've gone to the kind of cartoon art that was also prominent in Bubble Gumshoe. Bubble Gumshoe, I understand because it's kind of packaged up in a way to be, teenage Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, right? Improv for Gamers, I don't know if I would have went with that type of art. Is it kind of, there's kind of a comic book vibe. Hey, that's a personal choice of theirs. I don't know if I would have went that route just because, I don't know. Is it maybe because of the younger crowd? Is there an age thing in there? I don't know. Anyways, maybe I'm analyzing it a little bit, but there has been other improv games, I think Engine Publishing, right? Like had essays from individuals and edited. I don't think this is oh God, my damn cat. Yeah, this is not that. Look at all these. I mean, look at this. Interviews and discussions. They've hit all these shows to talk about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Karen 12s. This is the team. So it's Karen's kind of writing it. And then, of course, the team, it does have some contributing authors. Okay. But I don't know if these guys are getting, it's got to be Jason Morningstar, J3. I'm wondering how they're doing this is if they're just kind of weighing in, or are they literally writing a chapter like the Kobold Guide to World Building, the Kobold Guide to this, where they have essays by these individual authors, game designers and contributors, and they get their own chapter and their own essay, and they can just write about that particular piece. So this one looks very much, it doesn't look like that's the case for this. I'm going to just freaking strangle you, cat. Got to get this guy off my back. Let me get the crack out for my cat. And of course, it's like triple wrapped. I just throw this whole thing on the ground. Have him go nuts. Shush. Best stream ever today. You guys witnessing it. Hey, Victor. It's a bit of an Evil Hat vibe. It matches most of their Fate stuff. Yeah, that's true, I guess. There is a kind of a brand thing going on. I don't know. So my take for me and how I'm interpreting the book just from the art is I don't know. It seems like it's like, maybe it's in its second edition. It's a beginner. Not beginner, right? That's not where I want to do it, where I want to put it, because it's probably not. I would learn things from it. I don't know. Is it just me? It's like taking something like a book, a serious book, like, I don't know, take a history book or even a science book on physics. Like, I don't want to say it's like the Dummies series, right? The physics for dummies or whatever. But I think the point of those is you take something that's really dense and it's for dummies, right? That's kind of the tongue in cheek about it. Some people don't care for that title because, they don't like the derogatory take. But you know what you're kind of getting into, right? They're going to boil it down and make it understandable, and the layout's going to be in a way that explains it. So my interpretation of this is like, I don't know. It's just me, okay? I'm sure it's going to do fine. It's a great book. I'm sure it's going to be a great book. I don't know if it's something I would get and buy. Maybe down the road after it's done and funded and released into the retail chains. Maybe I'd be interested in maybe taking a look at it. So there's probably some good nuggets in there. For sure. And their list of contributors are no slouches by any means, right? So, just, I guess it depends on, maybe I'm not their target audience either. Maybe their target audience are folks that are just starting out, maybe a little younger. But I don't think so. It's like the art and headspace. That game is supposed to be cyberpunk, but it has the same art style. Hey, Wayne, maybe they think the art is more accessible or friendly? Sure. Now, I definitely know Fred is a very big progressive, he I think even says on his byline and Twitter, like social justice warrior. So I'm not doing that as a as a rub. And so they're very big on diversity. Great, fine. And through art, you can convey some of that. Great, fine. I just think that the cartoony-ish illustrations makes me feel as though it's a, hey, here's the starter book for you if you haven't game mastered or you want to improve your game masters for improving. And I think it might have gotten more wheels even if it was a different style. Again, I'm being kind of obnoxious about this, but I don't know. It's just different. And I don't know how you would do it otherwise. Like, okay, Sean, what's your other option then? Right? Like, okay, fine. How would you have done it? Mr. Never been an art director guy or put out a role-playing game. Never contributed to the hobby and industry in a professional manner. You know? So for me to sit here and like bang on this is, I don't know, kind of being an ass, but I think it's fine for an improv book. Sure. Maybe they will do a Mark Berg edition. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, it was just something that of note. Going back to the dummies and physics, like hey, here's a physics book, and we're gonna lay it out like, yeah, the headspace. Is it the headspace one? No, it's not headspace. What are the ones for like programmers? Like, is that the headspace ones? Because there's ones for headspace, right? Is it headspace? No, programming, Java. Learned code, there's a particular style of programming books that do this. Oh, it's driving me crazy. Where is my Java? Learn Java. And here it is, Head First series. Brain-friendly guide. So the layout is very in a particular manner. So it's not like we're going to bog you down with paragraph after paragraph and then, a text edit shot, paragraph, like real dense. There's illustrations. There's markers within the book that tell you like, ding, an exclamation point means this, like, be careful, this means that. And then there's different typesets and things of that nature. Trying not to make it a very boring book. And that may be exactly what Evil Hat is going for in the improv book. But going with that approach or that thinking can also turn people off a little bit, I think, because I don't know, there's a difference between reading a young adult, a teen book, right? If you go to your favorite bookstore and you go into the teen titles, like there's a teen section, their artwork's different, the print is different. Not to say that none of us could read that and find huge enjoyment out of those, but they're just looking different. And so for me, I'm getting hung up on this, the cartoon art choice. Why am I spending all my time on this when there's probably more important stuff in life? Anyways, check it out if you're interested. I'm sure there's some really good stuff in there that we could all benefit from, for sure. Moving on, Sean, beat that dead horse. Starship Troopers, role-playing game designer's new game combines Vikings with cyberpunk. Publisher Mongoose. Let's see. Man, there is a lot of role-playing game stuff out there. I wonder. So Wisconsin, I don't know if we take pride in it. Wisconsin is known for drinking, like alcohol, lots of it. Ask any Wisconsinite or folks that are familiar with the state, and they'll say there's not a town without a bar in it. There's a bar on every corner, right? Or so the saying goes. Or there's more bars per capita in Wisconsin than anywhere else, or whatever the metrics or whatever it is. I only bring that up is because do we have more products in role-playing games than we like per capita than anything else? Now, I think that would be a stretch probably because, I'm sure Apple has, more tablets or whatever products in people's houses than anybody, being as big as they are. But I just think like, how many role-playing game products are out there? And then how many people are actually playing role-playing games? And what does that look like? Because there is a butt ton of stuff out there. So going into this, Starship Troopers, let's combine Vikings with Cyberpunk. Like, if you can, sometimes I think there's going to be a point in time where if you can think it, there's an RPG for it. So the creator behind Starship Troopers tabletop role-playing game, Matthew Sprang, has designed a new tabletop RPG that combines Vikings with cyberpunk elements. And you know what? People are going to be like, man, this is the greatest idea ever. Shield Maidens is an upcoming TRPG. Tabletop T. They only put one T. Tabletop PRG. TPRG. TPRG. Inspired by Viking history and Norse mythology, given a sci-fi twist. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Cool. Okay. All right. Apart from designing the Shield Maidens RPG, Starship Troopers tabletop role-playing game, Sprang is responsible for developing the newest version of the Traveler sci-fi RPG and for creating several miniatures such as A Call to Arms, Babylon 5. Okay, I am trying to see. It's going to be released by Mongoose, but I'm trying to see what the system is. Like, how is it run? Tells you about what you'll do in the game. Great. They could create their Shield main characters using the book, equipment. Okay. There's also a collection of adventure hooks and advice on how to be a good GM or player. Okay. Take the role of Shield mains. Okay. Doesn't tell me what the system is. So maybe it's its own? I haven't watched this video, but I'm wondering if it's in the video like, hey, maybe it's this, I don't know what Starship Troopers was based off of. Maybe it's the same type of engine. If anybody's played Starship Troopers, there's no PBTA, it's not D20. I have no idea how this is, what the mechanics are behind it. So I'm overlooking something that I apologize to Mr. Sprang. I think Alex would have been nice if Alex would have got to the bottom of that, but maybe this is more a press release. I don't know. So anyways, there you go. Vikings Cyberpunk. Space Vikings? And that's Viking Death Squad? I don't know. Total player role game. Robert Haight, good to see you. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Just I tell you. What's the next thing? 10 best magic items for artificers in 5e. I'm a artificer guy, kinda, because I liked Eberron. 10 light up all darkness with a 10. Oh, number 10. Here. This is kind of, I thought, kind of neat. Number 10, light up all darkness with a drift globe. A drift globe is a wonderful tool for dungeon delving party of adventurers. When its command word is spoken, it can emit light using either the light spell or the daylight spell. Drift globe. That'd be cool, right? Number 9, make an artificer extra useful with a robe of useful items. Provides the wearer with several useful items. The robe has a variety of patches that, when removed, transform into the item it represented. Boy, I tell you, man, getting back into this mind frame, I don't know. I'm an artificer. Like, I like artificers, but I'm like, man, the robe, I'm rare robe, and I just pull out useful items whenever I want to. Minimum of 16 patches to a maximum of 28. Oof. All right. Number 8. Figurines of wondrous power backup. You can fit in your pocket. The figurine piece, I think, is kind of cool, right? What do they do? Lots of high magic, man. For sure. For sure. Figurines can be used as mounts. Others can help in combat. See, for me, I think it would be like, okay, you only got one of these things ever, period. They're almost, in some campaigns, some of these things are like artifacts, I would think, right? Right? Like, number 7, teleport out of harm's reach with a cape of the Mountebank. Cast a spell Dimension Door as an action. So some of these are like flavor, right? The cape. Spell Dimension Door as an action. Six, animated shield. Have the AC bonus of a shield is vital for all classes. They're likely to use their hands for many different tasks at a time between the use of weapons, infusions, and spells. Artificers need to have their hands free as much as possible. All right. Number 5, always be prepared with an all-purpose tool. All-purpose tool is a unique item to artificers that provides a bonus to spell attack rolls and artificer spell saves. The bonus depending on its rarity. It can become any type of artisan tool, from alchemist supplies to tinker's tools. Even if the wielder isn't generally proficient in that type of tool, they will be if it's made with the all-purpose tool. I would probably see that as not even magical. Maybe, kind of. I would run that as like a technology is magic piece. So maybe it's a tool, but it's physical. But the artificer is the only one that knows how to like, the Swiss Army thing you're folding out, but nobody, you look at it and it's like, what is this thing? And the artificer knows how to like undo it all and make it an all-purpose tool. Number 4, carpet of flying. Ooh, man. I've been out of the 5e realm for a while, man. Magic carpets, man. Just have everybody flying around on magic carpet. You don't know what you can find. Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride? Number 3, Instant Fortress makes ends obsolete. Initially appears to be a 1-inch metal cube when placed on the ground and its command word is spoken. This 30-foot high fortress springs to its full size. Man, somebody love this stuff. Do this. What's it do? Breaks this like fortress, 30-foot high fortress. Oof, okay. All right. Number 2, Manual of Golems. See, now this would be kind of cool. Like, look it up and know stuff. But I know there's going to be more to it. It's not an average magic item. To use it, the prospective reader must have 2 5th-level spell slots, or else they'll take damage for trying to read it. Depending on the manual, the golem that the reader can create varies, as does the gold and time it takes to make it. Making such a powerful magical entity is right up the alley for an artificer. All right, so that goes into like making golems, okay? And then number 1, the D&D Hulkbuster armor with a mighty servant of Luco. the most powerful magic items an artificer could get their hands on, requiring a second person to be attuned to it. 2 people can pilot this huge construct and unleash unstoppable destruction upon their enemies. While it has a few quirks, like having 25% chance of randomly attacking someone during attunement, it's still a powerful vehicle that is immune to almost all damage types and resistant to all it's not immune to. It can also regenerate health and has an attack that can deal 4d12 force damage. All right, there you go. Some ideas. Some ideas. Ooh, boy. All right. Reddit. What's your worst experience in a convention game? Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. I'm gearing up to run a game or two at a local convention while I want to hear the horror stories so I know how not to run my games. What are the tables you did or should have quit? And I started reading this and going, oh my goodness. I played in a Pendragon game at a con once in ye old times. GM had a mixtape with thematic music. I distinctly remember the worst encounter of all time. Bucolic music playing on scratchy tape recorder. Our knights are traveling down a lovely country road. GM. In the distance, you see the fluttering pennants of another knight in the road. Stops tape. Click. Fast forwards it a bit. Still bucolic. Am I pronouncing that right? Fast forwards again. Okay, slightly suspenseful music scratchily plays out the thrumpany bit speakers. Basically some copper wire around an iron bar. GM, roll etiquette. We all fail. Okay. Well, your character indicates random player would know anyway. You should advance with weapons sheathed. We shrug as one, grudgingly assent. GM, okay, you get closer. Roll spot. Party succeeds. Okay, you can see the pennant is an argent wolf rampant upon an ebon background. Roll heraldry. One PC succeeds. Okay, hold up a second. Stops tape. Fast forwards a bit. Suspenseful. Fast forward once more. Suspenseful. Tuts under his breath. Fast forward again. Majestic music starts to play. We breathe a sigh of relief. GM. No, hold on. That's not the start. Rewinds. Oh, it's back to suspenseful. Fast forward. Finally, lets the majestic music play. GM. You recognize the heraldry as being your father's, and now you can see his face, too. I can't remember anything else from the game, just the worst encounter ever. You kids with your MP7s and your KPEGs, you have no idea how frustrating it is waiting for an awful tape recorder to sync up country traveling music, mysterious encounter music. Then it's your frickin' dad and I made you roll to recognize his heraldry music. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. I read that. I was just like, man. Roll. Roll to see if you recognize your father's heraldry emblem. Come on, man. Just put the day. Sir, ma'am, I understand you're a game master. Please, can you set the dice down and back away from the table? Just set the dice down. Set the dice down. Back away from the table. Just back away. Set the dice down. Back away from the table. Most of the comments here are specifically, I think, on that one guy's. Most of them here. Let's see if there's anything else. Here's one. I once played in a game of Call of Cthulhu with pre-gen characters. No big deal, right? Most con games use pre-gen characters. Well, shortly after the game starts, I'm about to take an action, and the GM stops, glares at me, and says, I grew up with that guy. He would never do something like that. He'd do this instead. Yup, he had set the game in his hometown and used actual real people as the player characters and wouldn't let any of us take any actions that didn't fit with his idea of how those people would behave. We all just sat there incredulously as he mostly played the whole game himself, taking our actions for us. Hapless Nightmare, thank you for that. Wow. Psychogeki. I played in a D&D 5e next game when the system was still in early development, and one of the other players at the table, the one who picked a wizard, after an hour and a half of an acceptable city-based mystery one-shot, grew bored of it and threw a fireball in the middle of the group, causing an auto TPK in the middle of the second act of the session. He then stood up and, by saying, "Not enough fights, I'm bored, see you," walked away without apologizing. To make things worse, the DM was taken by surprise and chose to not retcon the latest events, and so he abruptly ended the session. Wow. Last year, the player next to me was a huge Critical Role fan, wouldn't shut up about how great it is, and repeatedly told everyone that 5e was the perfect system despite the fact that we were at a Dungeon Crawl Classics table, not a 5e table. He struggled with even basic table etiquette, though, like paying attention to his turn and not talking while others were talking. Also, he kept coughing everywhere, and despite wearing a mask, I tested positive for COVID 4 days later. Well, at least it's not all the game masters, right? It's not always the game master. I guess. Is that the upside? Not the worst game session at a con, but there's one. Here's one with my worst player interaction. We were playing Unknown Armies 2E at Origins. I played a smarmy, profit-obsessed head of a Ghostbusters-like occult agency that employed the other PCs. An elderly woman said her husband was killed by some creature, so we went to talk to her. Playing the jackass, money-hungry leader, I suggested the widow give us all the life insurance payout so we can get to the bottom of things eventually. She hesitated, so I asked if she thinks her late husband would want her to abandon justice just to save money. That's when the biggest guy there grabbed me by the front of my shirt, shook me around, and told me never to speak to grandmas that way. What's the problem? That last bit was real life. One of the players, without notice, grabbed my shirt and threatened me at the table. In his defense, he meant it all in character and got carried away. I believe him because he was very embarrassed and apologetic after the game. But man, when a barrel-chested stranger suddenly roughs you up in real life over a game scene, it counts as worst. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's Rivet Geek. Rivet Geek, I follow. His name's Will on Twitter. I like Will a lot. He just posted recently. He just posted recently a tweet on Twitter. Go figure. About him being on Reddit and backing away from a thread that talked about any game, any RPG can be used to play any genre and any era, genre, types, whatever. It just depends on how you run it. So I thought I had a good chuckle at that. So he says, played a Palladium fantasy session that turned out was a continuation of a regular game. Who does that? Was handed a character that was not just a pre-gen, but someone else's. Sheet was dirty and stained up, but was advised not to write on it. So when he said it was somebody else's, I thought the character was. I didn't realize it was the actual sheet. Anyways, he continues. The character was a woman and wound up getting thrown into some kind of ongoing relationship with an NPC. And the GM was way too into it, like having them question why the PC didn't remember things or was acting different because, she's being played by an entirely different person. I acted like I had to take a phone call and left. Note, cell phones weren't a thing and there was no PA announcement or anything. I was just like, gotta take a call. These things, man, are, oh my goodness. Right? These are great threads to read. I don't know. I say great as in, like, you just can't make some of this stuff up. You're going to be, another one, monks pee the same. Sane. Monks pee the sane. You're going to be speaking to people around a large table in a room with other groups around their own large tables, all talking a lot, working on projecting your voice. I was at a game at Gen Con a few years back, and I could barely hear the game master despite sitting only one chair away from him. His response was basically, "This is how I talk. Nothing I can do about it." It was a game set in Glorantha too, and I was the only player familiar with it, so we needed a number of lore dumps. Okay, all right. This one's kind of long. I don't know. Ralts Clamar. This was a game I played in. We start in a tavern and negotiate rooms for the night. Several people elect to sleep outside instead of pay for the room. The following morning, those people are tired because they didn't sleep in beds and are charged for meals which no one who bought a room had to pay. The meal is somehow more expensive than the rooms. This will become a running theme. Someone with no connection to the party busts into the tavern. "Help! Bandits have taken over a nearby village." Given no one has any connection to the village, the party naturally wants to know what can be offered for helping the town. Nothing, apparently. I attempt to persuade the rest of the group to pick it up anyway, since I've run convention games myself and I know it's take the plot hook or don't play. Good player. Considering traveling there, multiple endurance checks. All but one or two of us end up exhausted because of how long a trip it was. No mounts were available. Given this, we decide to send the characters who are less combat but more social in first, with the rest of us nearby in case things go south. Things immediately go south because there is a combat encounter here. In large capital letters. The rest of us say we want to run in. Well, you're 100 meters back, so it'll take 4 turns. Cool. Somehow no one completely eats in the fight, and we manage to get through it. Nobody completely eats it in the fight, and we manage to get through it. Then we hear a scream coming from a nearby building. Try the front door. It's locked. No windows. Someone whose main thing is, I can climb, wants to get on the roof. The GM allows it. The character then says they want to smash through the hatched roof and get inside to take whoever's in there by surprise. Game Master. Well, what you have to understand is that thatched roofs were actually made pretty strong back then, so you can't just break through it. apparently there was a back door, which is the only other entrance. Inside, we see the scene. A bandit threateningly advancing on a helpless woman. All right, content warning, attempted sexual assault. I don't even know if I want to read that. Oh boy, yeah. So the GM describes the scene, including how the bandit has no pants. I will leave it at that. I don't think I could re-trigger that back on. No content warning was given up front. No safety tools were established, and changing that to just be the bandit has a knife and is advancing on a helpless person would have been good enough. My biggest regret is not just immediately leaving the table. So anyway, the party intervenes and we prevent this. The session thankfully ends soon after. This session was so bad that I ended up changing the way I run sessions by giving relevant content warnings and making it clear that a scene can be stopped, skipped, changed if someone is uncomfortable with it happening. Too long didn't read. GM decides to punish anyone who tries to be cool or creative because of realism, and without warning drops an attempted sexual assault scene. The session was so bad I changed how I run my con games. Oof, man. There's a few more. I'm not gonna read any more after that. The other ones are probably pretty good. I don't know. Pretty good as in like interesting, crazy eye rolls. Jeez. Here's one. Many, many years ago, sat down for a game. Don't remember the system. GM was recommended by a friend, said he was a good one. GM did not even have characters ready. Sat and watched as he sat there, rolling characters as we all watched. Making the complete waste of time even more egregious was the fact that the GM's psychopath friend was sitting right next to him, cracking juvenile jokes. Only the two of them laughed at. Neither clearly bothered by that our con time was being wasted. When a few people dared ask if we would be starting soon, they were put down with the clear implication we should be grateful to see the creation process at work. Gave off just that wonderful edgelord incel vibe that unfortunately exists in the shadowy recesses of the hobby. Finally bailed because I am closely connected to the con organizers, and this was in the early days when finding GMs was an issue. I decided not to make a scene. Excused myself under the false pretense that I needed a piss. Instead, told one of the con organizers to come find me in 10 to 15 minutes, tell me that my wife was trying to reach me and couldn't get it through to my cell phone so I could make an exit. Early years of cell phones, very plausible in this location. Ended up having a grand old time with a pickup board game. I guess this GM became a bit of a problem and was discouraged from running in the future. Dudes, what is going on, man? Well, listen to this one. Played in a DCC game a few years back that the GM had planned but not advertised to end in a PvP scenario. This was the first time I'd ever played DCC, and it put me off seriously looking at it for years. That's the thing, man. Some of these guys will run a game and you'll play it. You'll never want to play it again. So we got to remember that there's a difference between the game master or a bad player and the system. And I think it's, some of these we got to give them a second chance. But it's, oof. Nubis Brett. I know what that was in response to. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that sucks. That just sucks. It really sucks when you hear those things. You're just like, no, that like, okay, give me a bad game master story. Go ahead. Like, what, just make one up. Like, we're game masters, right? We can make up stuff all the time. Give me a bad game master situation. Okay, they weren't prepared. They didn't do this. They made somebody else do that. Like, and then you read these stories and it's like, what? Did that really happen? You gotta be kidding me. No, that didn't happen. They didn't say that. No. Yeah, they did. WizKids unleashes Dungeons and Dragons Demi-Lich unlife-size replica. New foam monster trophy for the gaming area. There you go. So they got the Beholder. They've got, I don't even know if you can get that anymore. They've got the Mind Flayer. Got the dragon. They have 2 dragons, right? 2 different dragons, red and black maybe, and the like mounts. They got the Hand of Vecna. I think the Eye of Vecna, right? And now they have the Demi-Lich. I don't know if it's all the same. I don't know if WizKids did them all, but this thing is going to retail in July 2022. Don't think it lists a price. There you go. If you're one of those that might think that looks cool in your man or woman cave, there you go. It's got LED lights. Let's see. What do we got here? Aldara Kickstarter. Oh, I think I put this down as like, I thought it was like a role-playing game, but it looks like more of a board game. Is there RPG elements to this thing? No, I think I don't know how I came across. Here we go. For Dragonlance, advance uncorrected proofs. This is something that Margaret put out on her Twitter account. Not for sale, on sale, August 9th, 2022. Dragons of Deceit, Dragonlance Destinies, Volume 1. That's it. That's the tweet. So it got to be really close to being done. What's up, Ty? Ty says, I tried playing RPG Day, a Pathfinder game where we needed a type of weapon. I think a blunt weapon to do damage to the boss, and nobody was equipped with the blunt weapon at all. Yeah, it's good times, man. You got to go find that blunt weapon. Come on, Ty. Like, come on. Come on. So there you go, Dragonlance. I wonder if that's even the working cover. Call it classic Dragonlance. Who do you think those 3 people are? Find the blunt, Ty, or is it find the blunt? Thank you. What's up, Murder Hobo? Hey, Jason. You have come at a good time because earlier I was having all kinds of fun. My actual power went out completely. It was a mess. So, all right. Everybody knows I'm a Forbidden Lands shill, and I don't get compensated for it. But Blade Runner, the role-playing game's coming May 3rd to Kickstarter. I predict a success. I don't know. Consider me optimistic. What else is there to say? For a glimpse at the Neon Neverland to come, have a look below at the artwork. So they give like, I think 3 spreads they posted. Set in the year 2037, the adventures begin shortly after the Wallace Corporation debuts the new Nexus 9 replicants on Earth, giving players the choice to play as either human or replicant Blade Runners with different specialties, personalities, and memories. Apart from the core casework, the RPG will both in setting and mechanics also showcase key themes of Blade Runner: sci-fi, action, corporate intrigue, existential character drama, and moral conflict that encourage roleplay and challenge players to question your orders, empathize with your enemies, and make hard calls with high stakes and long-lasting implications. Yeah. So Thomas Herenstam is the lead designer, same and founder of Free League, who was also involved with Alien, is going to fills the same role on Blade Runner. Okay, some details. Oof, man, that thing is going to be... Some of the stuff from some resume stuff here, projects about Genuine Entertainment, Free League. Who's picking up Blade Runner? Let me rephrase that. Who's going to get on the Kickstarter? Then consider maybe, if you don't consider the Kickstarter, are you going to consider Blade Runner after the fact? So it takes place, my understanding, I think it says in here somewhere, it takes place between the movies, the first and second one. Insta back. Dude, I'm on Nola Burt, guy in our Discord, local up in northern Wisconsin. He's like, do you have stock in Free League? And I think if they were public, I would. Maybe they're not even profitable. I don't know. But they put out some pretty damn good products, I think. But you kind of have to, like the systems, they're somewhat similar. Not all. They're not like one for one. I would say, maybe this is, I don't know if this is going too far out there, but I think that if you took D20, 5th edition, and you took games that modeled it after 5th edition, that some of those would probably be more similar to D&D than the Year Zero engine is across Free League's games. Maybe. That might be a bold statement. Michael says the old going on with Blade Runner Kickstarter. Ooh, Murder Hobo, that sucks. Jason says, I backed Cyborg, but will not back Blade Runner. We'll wait for retail and probably starter box, if that. Ty says, never watched the second Blade Runner movie. Not my cup of tea, but I know I will watch it one faraway future, so I will not say I will never see it. I think I'm going to read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I'm going to read that. That's the basis of Blade Runner, the first movie. By, what's his name? You know, his name. Get in the mood. Because part of me is like, Blade Runner was a good movie. I appreciated it, but it wasn't, there's still kind of a vagueness on the world itself, I think, to some degree. PK Dick, yep. They flagged it as inappropriate. Philip K. Dick, yep. Thanks, guys. Which he did a few, right? He's kind of like known, like just with same as Neuromancer and that author that I can't remember. Oh man, I got bad news coming as I get older. Anyways, Blade Runner, May 3rd. God, Free League, just... I don't have all their stuff. I have, I don't have Merc Borg. I don't have Mutant Year Zero. Although that one does appeal to me. I would say Mutant Year Zero almost appeals to me more than Blade Runner for some reason. Because I think there is the apocalyptic theme is one. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead. I've never played an Apocalypse World. I wasn't a big Fallout player. Like some Fallout people, people that played Fallout the video game are like, some of them are die hard. They do cosplay and they run homebrew adventures in a particular system and use Fallout as the backdrop. I mean, there is the Fallout RPG, mind you, so I get that. But part of the apocalyptic genre is somewhat appealing only because there's, even some of there was an NBC series that I don't think really took off that was like that. It was like fast forward years on Earth, and I think it was many younger 20-somethings, that were dropped from a ship, and then they were kind of exploring the Earth after the fact. But there's something to be said about that genre that kind of appeals to me. Whether it's zombies or mutants, I don't know. Mutant Year Zero is kind of an interesting one because I don't know if I'm a big fan of mutants. I've never played Apocalypse World, but there is something to be said about that, mass destruction. What happens when everything just stops? Technology's gone, electricity's gone. Anything, the infrastructure is just nuked. So how do you play in a role-playing game like that? And some of the challenges that comes about it. It's a survival game for sure, so you get some resources. I don't know. I think it's, so anyways, Free League. Kind of got sidetracked there, but they make some freaking good games that I really like. I like just the packages that they provide. I really do. It's not level based. We were talking a little bit about that on Discord last night. It's just some of the things that I read about level based systems. A lot of people will say, well, experience points. So I got to give my players experience points. And then it's like a discussion around, that's how it kind of started, right? Some of you were involved in that. Is how do you award experience points? And it kind of goes into a whole thing that you can kind of delve into is how do you incentivize your players like for the game? So people say, yeah, I hate games that you have to go and it's gold. Like the whole point is to go and get gold. If you get gold, you get experience points. And then once you get experience points, then you can level up and make magic items or whatever and become more powerful. And when you level up, you get this and you get that. And then when you get this and you get that, then the game master has to give higher challenges or bigger challenges or tougher challenges. Not necessarily, but that's do make it where they just walk through on God mode through your RPG. And even some players want to get those booms, but they also don't want it to be a cakewalk. Like a lot of people don't want their RPG to be God mode. You remove the level. It changes the whole dynamic. Then the power creep, what is that? What happens to that? In Free League and other games, even Star Wars from Fantasy Flight Game, the Genesis system, or GURPS, right? You get awarded certain things and you get points, and then you use those points to allocate to different things like talents or skill improvement. Even Delta Green or Call of Cthulhu, right? You fail the skill, you mark it, you roll, does it increase, does it not? It's just the level thing is this thing where it's like, I don't know, man. It can be fun. For me personally, like I appreciate the folks that love it and the game masters that love to run those. But going back to like the XP and the incentive piece is like, what do you want your player characters to be doing in the game? So if you're in, I don't know, X game and you want them to explore, then you kind of got to give them experience points or whatever. You got to give them the carrot for exploring. If their point is to garner gold, or, get gold and then kill monsters, well, then I guess that's the thing. You got to put gold in the adventures. You got to put monsters in there. But I think with the leveling components, it's just the dopamine hit every time. And that is something that I have probably grown away from quite extensively over the last couple of years. If I played in a game like that, would I want to? Of course I would want to level up. Of course I want the next thing. There's just more to the game than that. But if that's your jam, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's all player preference. Don't take my preference as yuck and your yum. But I also think that some folks, and it may be just a point in time, like played the crap out of this game. It was so awesome. Just got tired of that. And I tried something else and appreciated that approach more. I don't know. Neil Gaiman? No, Neil Gaiman? No, Nobis. Not that one. Oh, yeah, maybe Neil Gaiman, right? With Philip K. Dick. Nah, I don't read a bunch of Neil stuff. William Gibson, I think, is what I was thinking of. Neuromancer. Anyways. Man in the High Castle, Scanner Darkly. Yeah. Philip K. Dick stuff, right? So I think I've seen a far out version of Fate. A far out version? Fallout version of Fate? Maybe. So Hans Cummings had done a Fate Accelerated game of Fallout. It was the first time I ever played Fate Accelerated. And I think I don't even know if I had fired up Fallout. Like I started walking around in the first game, and then that was kind of it. I think I got outside the base. So, yeah, that was it. But so he did that. I think he did a homebrew of that. I don't need experience rewards. I just need to have fun. But see, that's the thing, Victor. A lot of people will find that experience and leveling as the fun piece. Like, that's the thing, man. We did it. We accomplished it. Now this is the payoff. This is the reward. It's like a huge reward system. And there are reward systems in a lot of RPGs. I think you kind of have to have a little bit of that because it allows you to maybe accomplish things, maybe become a little more competent in X or Y. I just don't think it has to be so exponential. And somebody might say, but Sean, in say 5th edition D&D, it's not that exponential. You get like every other level, you get something. Or every 3 levels, you get your archetype special thing, special ability. I don't know, but you get so much, right? You get XP bumps, you get probably an archetype thing. If you're playing with feats, that probably may or may not play a role in that. Magic's pretty low in 5th edition, typically, unless the game master amps that up a little bit. That might play a role in it, but maybe not. But then you have the CR rating, right? You got an average group of 3rd level party members. They're going to walk through probably some half CRs. But if you take the level piece out of that, then a lot of those things, it's kind of like the illusion of ramping up, right? You're kind of putting things in skills, and even in Star Wars, there's talent trees and feat trees. Are they feat trees or talent trees? I think they're talents. You pick those, or profession pieces. You should probably look them up. And you get to pick those, but they'll usually modify a die depending on what it is, right? So, maybe if you're bounty hunter, or maybe you're a big game hunter, you want to shoot from a long, long distance, like sniper guy. So, there's those penalties that you take range wise. Well, it takes maybe those penalties and decreases them by 1 step or whatever. And I know that 5th edition has some of those similarities as well. But I think they're more subtle in some of those other games. Especially if you're using the narrative dice system, it's maybe removing It's removing a setback die, one black one. So it's removing the odds of the symbols on a D6 that aren't all actually bad. So the probability pieces come into play and things of that nature. I don't know. So the player's like, ooh, yay, I get to pick and they get to bank it, right? So even in certain games, they might not even have to spend them. So they bank them so that they can get the big 50-point cost thing, right? But there also is a path. So they have to get the prereq and then they have to buy the next one. So there is this progression where they can save all the XP, but they still have to buy the prereqs to get to whatever. So there's this kind of tree component. I know you all get this, and some of you are very familiar with what I'm talking about, so I apologize. But it's kind of like I think a good trade-off where the player characters get the dopamine hit, they get the little XP or the points. Hey, you're awarded 3 points this session. Yay. And they bank them, or they don't, right? So they give them the choice. And maybe it's based on what they did, and it's a checkbox like, yep, you did this, boop, 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 boop. It's not arbitrary. In some games, it's like whatever the game master comes up with, right? Like, or they have their home brew thing that they have that they check off, right? And it's long, and then they go, yeah, you get 500 experience points. You get 250 because they killed more stuff, or you didn't, but you had a good social encounter. There's all this stuff, right, on how to figure that out. There's we haven't even covered milestone XP. And I think it was Polish Ogre was talking about milestone XP. It's like, well, when do you determine to give them a bump? And he's like, well, when I realize that some of the encounters are getting tougher. They're kind of struggling. But the thing in Star Wars is like, you could put up some pretty big bads, but stormtroopers are always going to be stormtroopers. And they can still be tough no matter what. Because they have these mob rules. So the more of them, they stack. So it's not just one hit point guys all the time. So I can appreciate the components behind that. So the thing is, they get the dopamine hit, they get a little reward, they know what they're supposed to do. So you have an incentive system like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, these are the things that you get rewarded for. So if you don't do those and they're not getting XP, well, it's because you're not doing, you can just say, hey, you're not doing the thing that this game's supposed to be set up for. And I don't know how much, I guess there's thought behind some of them, maybe more so than others. The Freely games are all like that. Like, here's 10 questions. You go right down the line per person. And at the end, you might have 2 experience points. You might have 3 or 4. And then you can apply those to buy a talent or increase a skill. And it costs. So you might have a few, but you can't do anything because you don't have enough to do anything. So you might need a couple adventures under your belt to be able to increase anything. And then when you do increase something, it doesn't break. Like, you could send them into the same encounters from 2 sessions ago and not worry about them not being challenged or being too challenged. Levels, man. But here's the thing with D&D. There's going to be some core components that they're never going to get rid of. And I think one of them is going to be probably the level. How they handle it might change. I don't know. But, I was talking to Alex Kammer briefly one time over lunch. And one of the things is like, there's these limitations on what if you're this class, you can't do that. And some other games you can. Like, why are those restrictions in place? How does that deal with gameplay? And some people are like, that's the way it should be, right? You should have those like class specific things, because then if you don't, then you're getting back into maybe 4th edition times when fighters still had spells that they could cast at will or whatever, like the powers things. I don't know. Anyways, Ty says in ICRPG, you give them gear is the reward. Sure. And if the gear helps them, great. If it's like an award, great. How do you give them gear though? Is that like in the story, or do they just, hey, you get gear, congratulations? Like this is the thing. Is it meta? I don't know. I haven't read all of ICRPG. He says, then you turn around and break the gear, so they want new gear all the time. So I got you. It's kind of that cycle. Sure. Hey, Lucas. Good to see you. Frag Kebab. Hey, good evening. Well, what? 7 hours? Good late afternoon. Thanks for joining. Jason says, I've struggled to reconcile the dopamine hit of stacking rewards with negative player feedback along the lines of, nice, but it feels like I'm playing a video game. Yeah, that's the thing. So here's the deal. We collectively, game masters or players, or however you want to slice that, we have to recognize the preferences of style. And here's the thing. If you've got a group of 5 or 6 people, sometimes that is going to be a difficult thing to tackle. Home groups have lived and have probably gone on and survived because there's a base lowest common denominator that everybody can agree on. But not always. So if you recognize the, video game, because there's some players that love that. They will just, Jason, I know you know, right? There's players that'll be like, that's what I want to do. Like I played, World of Warcraft or whatever, insert MMORPG, and I understand all the slots, and I want to get, I'm out in the world and I'm going to collect bigger, more powerful things, and I get to level up with experience points, and when I level up I get these powers, and then it allows me to do more and fight bigger beasties. And there's some people that just love that stuff all day, every day, and that's fine. They love the miniatures, they love like putting down the big spell, diagrams. No, the spell area of effect plates, what am I looking for? Anyways, and they love that, and that's fine, and that's great. And there's certain games that do that stuff really, really well, and they'll love that game until they decide that it's not for them anymore. So I think, as having said that, I think there is also times where many of us we just outgrow it, or we have changes of mind as far as what we like in a game and prefer. Like I can guarantee if I looked back on 13-year-old Sean playing D&D, I would never want to play in that game because it probably was terrible. Save or die, choose a door, go behind the wrong door and you're dead. Like, did you check the door? Oh, you didn't check the door? Well, you touched poison. Give me a poison save. Oh, you're poisoned. And if you don't, find the antidote in like, a couple rounds, you're going to be dead. Oh, that's fantastic. Shred it, get a new character. Like I think our preferences in play may change. Not always. I mean, there's guys that are playing and women that are playing. I play BX. I've played BX since it came out, and that's the only true game. Fine. Fantastic. You're going to hate all the games I run then, right? You're not going to be interested. You're not my target audience. But level, man. The level. It's the level. It's all about the level. I need more XP. I need level. Anyways, not to get on that, because I'm not going to have enough time to create tunes today. You guys need to help me out with tunes. Dungeons & Dragons will explore using hit dice in new ways in coming months. Question is how? Sage advice video. Todd Kenrick discuss various design elements seen in the recently released Heroes of Krynn. Crawford and Kenrick discussed the new ways proficiency bonuses have been used in recent rulebooks, starting with the 2020 release Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Crawford noted that one of the design goals was that the book was to find new ways to use existing elements of the game, and near the end of that discussion, Crawford hinted at that we'd see other design elements find new uses in the coming months, specifically naming hit dice as an example. We are basically looking at everything on the character sheet and asking if this piece is doing enough. Is there something we're doing in the game that we can actually hand to those elements? Then the whole game gets tighter, easier to teach, easier to learn, more fun to play, easier to balance. That is, and I can't even see, you guys can't even see this. And so then the whole game gets tighter, easier to teach, easier to learn, more fun to play, easier to balance. Those are probably some, I mean, he's kind of laying out what they're trying to analyze. Sixth, 5.5, whatever that looks like. It'll be interesting to see, because what happens is I was listening to Craig Shipman today on Third Floor Wars. He was interviewing Shannon. Shannon's name escapes me, but Shannon did the Designer and Dragon series. And one of the things that kind of came about was if you go back, so Shannon had to research like back in the day. I mean, D&D, he is the researcher of Designers and Dragons. So if you're not familiar with that series, it's the history of role-playing games, like all the companies and all the things that they put out and when. And it was broken down, I think, by decade, and Evil Hat put it out for him. I think he's still continuing to do that series, maybe even a second edition, regardless. I have it, read some of it. He would say that the de facto start of role-playing games was D&D, 1974, when D&D came out. There were other people that were role-playing, he says, but published-wise, D&D was the first to be out there. And I'll take it from him because he's done a lot of research and wrote a lot about of all these other things, you know. So having said that, where am I going with this thing? The marketplace wasn't saturated back then, right? So anybody that would do something like Traveler, Tunnels and Trolls, Bunnies and Burrows, you know, Empire of the Petal Throne, Blackmore, you know, the landscape was, I mean, sky's the limit. Having started today's stream and talking about how many role-playing games that are out there, I don't know if the market is completely saturated necessarily. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's a ton. There are a ton of role-playing games. So my point I'm getting to is, when does the next iteration of D&D tread on what's already out there? Like, are they going to take components from other games and put it into D&D and go, this is D&D and this is 5th edition? Like, how different can it become as the market gets more full of index card RPG, you know, Cortex, Genesis, Powered by the Apocalypse, you know, GURPS, which has been out there all the time, but I should probably say like the newer frameworks that have come into the marketplace in the last 10 or 15 years, and still continue to come out. Year Zero, like all, you know, because all of them could have some components that would make D&D better, but then you risk D&D not being D&D. And so I think whenever we talk about D&D being the 500-pound gorilla, it's what makes D&D D&D. And I think over time it's going to become, well, it's the same stat block, armor class, hit points, and fantasy. saving throws have changed, right? So those may ebb and flow. CR is kind of like hit dice back in the day. They just renamed it. But still, so over those iterations, what similarities have come and gone? Proficiency bonuses have been around since what, 2nd edition? I don't know. So, yeah. Like, I think the challenge for Crawford and those guys is how do we keep D&D, make it, like they said, like he says, the game gets tighter, whatever that means, easier to teach, easier to learn, more fun to play. Can it be more fun to play for people? How do you make it more fun? Easier to balance. Leveling abilities, armor class, hit points. Like, I don't think those have changed. Geez, I don't know. I'm not white box guy, but I know since what? Basic? Those have not. The saves have. Experience points. So maybe those are the core that'll never change. Maybe there is a stone tablet in Wizards that have been handed down from TSR that these things shall not be touched. How they work may change, but those things are always going to be a staple. 3 to 18 is standard for any ability score. You can maybe change the modifiers, but those are always going to be core. So when you talk about, all right, we're going to do the next edition, how do you approach that? Like, because you can't dismiss it too much. I mean, even 4th edition had some of those components, and they lost a bunch of people, and people just were like, no. It's a fine line. I would not want to be in those guys' shoes. Like, people are like, I get to go work on D&D. Sure, fun. Let me know how that goes. Ty says, in ICRPG, end of the day, you find a chest. They roll a D100. The chart tells you what gear you get. You can also get a milestone rewards from your role that you play. You can choose that milestone you get. I want to play in your Marvel game. You will be ruling, Sean. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never played well, that's not true. I played one Champions game at Gen Con one year. I think it was the first convention game I ever played. It might have been Champions. It was the same year I think it was the first year I ever signed up for games at a convention. Because every time I think I've gone to Gen Con, never played a game. Just hung out, wandered around. And the first year I played games I played Spycraft. I think it was the original, wasn't 2.0. And I played Champions. I cannot remember for the life of me any of the real good details, honestly, of either game. So anyways, how are they going to use hit dice? Replace CR, put hit dice back in like the olden days? Maybe. Is hit dice, so hit dice can be different than level, right? So you can go, well, so we'll do hit dice, but it'll be different than proficiency bonus. So you'll have a proficiency bonus and a hit die, and your hit die is only used for these things, and your proficiency bonus is only used for these things. I don't know. The problem is they put them in these late released books, and by then, like, I'm kind of moved on. I don't know. Like, even with 3.5, when 4th was coming out, like, I didn't buy the Swords book, the Book of Swords. I was like, man, ship has sailed, dude. I'm going to check out this Pathfinder thing. Anyways. Let's see what we got. I think the rest I'm going to skip. The only other thing I want to bring up, we'll do this thing. I'll bring up briefly because I don't want to get into a ton of this. This is so Linda Codega Codiga, put this out on Twitter. She wrote an article for Gizmodo entitled "NFTs Are Here to Ruin D&D." Not going to go into the ton of this, but it's something we should be aware of. And if you didn't know about it, it's a good article. Posted in Discord. We'll have links for all these down below. But it's a very interesting. Hey, I want to know more about this, and wrote this article about this company called, I guess it's called Gripnr. Gripnr is how it's pronounced. Gripnr. Gripnr. And they're attempting to build 5th edition on the blockchain. So there's talks of NFTs. We all have opinions on NFTs. Some of us have preconceived notions of NFTs. Some of them are accurate. Some of them are not. But regardless, I thought it was a pretty well-written article. So having said that, it's something that's happening with the company. I don't know how successful it'll be. Stephen Radney McFarlane, who has been in the industry for a long time, written for Wizards of the Coast as well as Paizo, is the he's probably the only RPG. He's the most affluent RPGer involved, I think, in the entire project. It sounds like there's a lot of tracking that they want to do, and log on the blockchain. I don't know. I personally am not interested in it. I'm interested in how they're doing it and what they're doing and what their kind of goals are. But whenever it's talked about with NFT, it always seems to be, buy this thing, it's on the blockchain, and then it's going to grow in value, and you're going to be able to sell it, and then you're going to have a return on an investment. That seems to be the underlying thing. And I think with role-playing games, we're just not there. Like, I don't see it happening. So I think there is some, and she points it out in this article, there are some things where it's just like, and she asks other people with other backgrounds and everything, their kind of input. It is interesting. Gripnr. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. But anyways, decent article, interesting read. Check it out. Well, let's get some lightheartedness here. Let's get some lightheartedness. I'm going to show you this. Here's a $60 million Gothic, Connecticut castle. I wonder where this is in Connecticut. Christopher Mark, who is a descendant of steel tycoon Clayton Mark, owns this home. So Clayton Mark, huge steel tycoon, built this thing because he wanted to build his daughter a castle and she could be a princess in it. This thing is freaking crazy, man. Look at this thing. How would you like to play freaking some fantasy RPG in this thing? It was built in 2010, so it's not that old. 9 bedrooms. And I guess the star of the Princess TikTok. Listed at $35 million. It's complete with a moat, dungeon, and drawbridge. I mean, if you're a steel tycoon, look at this thing. I'll tell you what. Lifestyles of the rich and famous, lifestyles of the poor and insignificant. You know, I think it's cool. The inside. I mean, can you imagine growing up in this thing? They actually have like I think there's a door knocker or something that's actually taken after her face as a child and stuff. Like, it's just so crazy. Look, is that a suit of armor right there? On top of $125 per hour photo shoots, the castle was once home to a personal zoo with ponies, emus, camels, llamas, donkey. Man, a lot of land. Look at that. Look at the Great Hall. I don't know. That's fantastic. I mean, yeah, millions of dollars, man. Do it right. Let me get these. Some of these mansions are pretty cool. Like the more modern James Bond looking ones, like all glass, swim pool on the roof, with a glass side where it's look like you're gonna fall off out of the water and onto a mountain or something. Sure, this castle, and it's well done. It's not like, hey, let's build a castle and then we'll modern it up with all these weird modern furniture pieces, right? I mean, I guess the ceiling is a little bit, but whatever. And of course you got the stove. I mean, even the kitchen is like, I mean, despite you got the brushed metal ranges and stoves and ovens, but still, I don't know. I thought this was kind of cool. Cost $4.1 million. Took 7 years to build. 75 acres of land. Whoa. Wow. Look at that. That is crazy. That bathroom. Anyways, thought that was kind of neat. 12 fireplaces. Oh, wow. A massage room and pool. Hey. If I had the money, I'd buy it. What the hell, right? See you, Joe. All right, so that's that. It is the time it is. I don't know if I have enough time. We'll see. I need to make 2 first level characters. Oh man, how did I sign in with this originally? Google? Why can't they just have email? Let's see. I'm going to use D&D Beyond. I could do random. So here's the deal. For those not in the know, Brett and I from Gaming and BS are going to do a recording Monday night. We'll live stream it on the Gaming and BS YouTube. You can find that at gamingandbs.com/YouTube, 8 o'clock Central Time. Brett says, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to roll up 2 first level 5th edition characters, core books only. And then he's going to run me through something. And as he does, he's going to kind of comment on why he's making the decisions he's making. And we'll do some banter back and forth, kind of getting out of the player and GM head, or talking head, I guess, literally, to kind of explain, if Sean zigs to Brett's zag, how does Brett accommodate that in real time? We'll see. It's kind of a strange spin on an actual play. It'll probably only be an hour long, and it may be more than one session, but that's kind of the goal. So I did source crowded. I source crowded. Now I know why my mom and dad say weird things like, hey, do you Twitcher? What? Twitcher. Source crowd. I did crowdsource some ideas. I think the one that I liked, one that I appreciated, which kind of ties into the show, is I'm Fighty McFightor from Fighterland. My parents were killed by orcs. Thanks, Farty, for putting that out there. So I don't know. I don't know if I try cheating. Like, hey, Brett, all my guys have, I rolled this up. I came up with all 18s. Huh, weird, right? How would Brett handle that, right? A lot of people went the serious route. Oh, this is what you got to do, Sean. Here's kind of the deal, and here's the tie-in, right? Like, okay, all right, that's cool. So I guess I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, what do I make some heavily optimized characters? I don't know how crazy I can get sticking with the core books. If you said, well, Sean, I'm going to run a fifth edition adventure, go ahead and play. You could only do core books, so make up whatever you want. And I said, okay, what would Sean typically make? I would probably go, I'm usually a rogue guy. I usually play a decent thief. But I've played many different, like I don't get hung. I'm not always I always have a go-to. Like I'm not always the dwarf cleric. I'm not always the Jedi Indiana Jones Captain Kirk guy. Whoever that is. So devil advocate, a tiefling bureaucrat bard. Why, Michael? What is that? Is it because I get the most? Like, is it because I'm badass in fighting and badass at oratory skills? Like, what is that? I don't know. You know what I should do is just be worthless. Oh, like a fighter who doesn't fight. Like my dump stat is strength. Right? Like I'm playing D&D, but I'm not playing D&D. I'm not playing it the right way. Michael says, great role-playing opportunity and the utility of a bard in a two-person party. Utility of a bard in a two-person party. It's been a while since I played D&D. Like played. I don't know when the last time I played D&D. Literally as a player. I ran Tomb of Annihilation. I started Curse of Strahd. That kind of fumbled. And that was it. And so I played Curse of Strahd. God, it was at least a year before the pandemic. It's 2019. Holy cow. 3 years ago. Bards can fill a lot of roles. I could play two bards. Bard the Bardening. I think it's from Fear the Boot. One of the guys over there. They run a convention game like 5 bards. And I think they call it Bard the Bardening. But it's been a long time, man. I think I might have rolled up. Oh, that's not. Well, no, I ran that at Gamehole Con too. The last in-person Gamehole Con that I went to in 2019. I ran Tomb of Horrors and rolled up a bunch of characters. And the way I rolled them up was I rolled them up I think they all started at first level. And then as they went through the Tomb of Annihilation and they got killed, I would rip up their character and give them the new one. And it would be the next level. So the goal was who could get through the Tomb of Annihilation as a first level character. And there was one guy, I think, who made it. All the rest had died. And all the rest, I think, got up to like maybe 4th, 5th level, maybe. That's the last time I made a character because I had to make a pre-gens. So yeah. Where do I go? How do you do this thing? D&D Beyond. What's that? Characters. Okay. Look at all these characters. Pre-gens. All right. Okay. Here, create a character. Okay. All right. Standard. I could do a quick build too. Boom. Randomize. All right. We'll do standard. All right. Step by step. You guys got to help me out here. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Character's name. We'll just put PC1 for now. All right, just as a placeholder. We'll change it up, I'm sure. Could randomize. I might, maybe his name's Brett or Sean. Should I name him Sean? So when Brett says, Sean, what do you do? And I go, well, are you talking to me or my character? Brett, when's the last time you had a really shitty player at your table? All right. Let's see. Resources. Magic, it's got to go. Eberron's got to go. I think that's it. I have them all shut off. Ooh. Brett and Sean the Pete. Yeah, I could be Brett and Sean. Well, Brett does this. Now, in all fairness, if we're going to do this kind of inside the brain of a dungeon master and a player, it probably would behoove us to have different names for the player characters. Otherwise, it's really going to be confusing to people that listen to it or try to follow along, right? Rightfully so. So I got to make sure I'm not completely masochistic. All right. Enables digital dice rolling for this character. I don't care about digital dice, whatever. Optional features. No, but he's not giving me any options. Advancement type. I don't know. Like, whatever. Confirm. Are you wanting to change your advancement? I'll just leave it there, I guess. To milestone. Hit point type. Like, see, Brett hasn't done session 0, so that's one of the big beefs, right? Like, hey, man, you didn't do session 0, so I didn't know how many hit points. Like, do I roll hit points, or do I just get max plus con for first level? Eesh. When's the last time he shot a really shitty player at his table? It's a mantra not to kill the players. Player characters, fair game. Players, maybe some mild maiming. But anyways. All right, optional features. The hit point type fixed. What's the option? I'll do fixed, I guess. Prereqs for feats and multi-class requirements. Well, sure. Probably. Encumbrance type. I don't know. Use encumbrance. Should I have like no encumbrance and then load them up with a bunch of stuff? Like, how do you have everything? I don't know. You didn't tell me I had reading restrictions for gold and starting equipment. Session 0, man. Perfect example. You can't just tell a player character or player to say, hey, write up 2 tunes, first level. Core books only. There you go. That's your restriction. What? That D&D Beyond's asking me too many more questions. I can't answer these. Ignore coin weight. All right. Scores top. Character privacy public. Oh, all right. Okay, so I think that's it, right? So I go next step. All right. Filter race sources. Basic rules. All right. Here we go. Hey, they have a variant Aasimar in the core? Really? No, that can't be. What do we do? I could go Bard. Right? I don't think that's bad. What do I go? Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Half-Orc, Halfling, Human, Rock Gnome, Tiefling, Variant Aasimar. It is, huh? Interesting. I didn't know that. I think those are session 0 questions. Yeah, for sure, man. We're already breaking the crap. It's in the core. Hee. Should I go Variant Aasimar? I don't even know what that does. I think Alex Cameron and another guy play Variant Aasimars in a con game. They put on these weird, like, gold wreaths around their heads or something and blonde wigs. I don't know. But I think don't they feed off of each other? Like if you have 2 Aasimars, like an Aasimar provides X, so one would give the other one bonuses, and then the other one, since that was an Aasimar, would give the other one a bonus. But you couldn't do the bonus to yourself. Like, I don't know. There was some weird dynamic that was going on between those 2 knuckleheads, as they were playing. I don't know, what race do we go with? Halfling. Dude, I don't even know. Is this crazy? I don't even know how to make a first level 5th edition character. I mean, I know how, but I don't know what I'm going after here. I don't have a concept. That's a problem, Sean. You don't have like the concept. What kind of concept do you have in your head? Like, I don't know. I want him to be like elf, dual wielding scimitars, and a wolf companion, like a ranger type, green cloak, white hair. Maybe. So what does a bard need, right? What is the advantages of bard, right? Who gets the boons for being a bard? What are the core attributes for a bard? Is it wisdom? Right? Wisdom? I don't even know. Help a brother out, you guys. Core ability bard. 5e. This is how I create a character. I Google everything. The Bard Handbook. Charisma. Okay, charisma. So who is the charisma of the group? Duh, right? That makes sense. What are the abilities again? Empathy? What? All right. So who gets a boon in charisma? Who's charismatic? Elves? Right? Elves charismatic? Should I just find like a build? Like, here's the baddest ass bard build. Do this. Charisma. Followed by dex, then con, wisdom, and leaving strength or intelligence last. All right, that's what they say there. Humans? Okay, I guess. Human bard. Variant human? Come on, wizards, you're killing me. Human or what's a variant human? Kind of like maybe, kind of, sort of. They're a spin-off? Like it's a spin-off show of humans? Oh my goodness. Human variant. Do I go variant human? What's the difference? Your ability scores each increase by 1. Well, yeah, man. What's variant? If your campaign uses the optional feat rule from the players, your dungeon master might allow variant traits. Yeah, I gotta go regular, right? Because it's like he's not gonna let me use variant. Get the free feat. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. So look at you guys. All right, we're gonna go human bird for the first one. Okay, sounds good. Great. All right, sounds good. Languages. I get 1. Who do I? Okay, Brett's gonna run. What kind of language do I need to speak? Got to be Abyssal, right? Draconic, right? One of those, maybe. Draconic. It doesn't matter. I don't know. It's 2 player characters. I'm not going to cover the range. Infernal. Demons speak Infernal, right? How well do we know our dungeon master? We'll go Infernal. Okay. All right. Everybody aboard? Everybody on board? All right, here we go. Bard the Bardening. Oh, yeah, I could play those other ones that I didn't even know. Like a bard and maybe a bard and a paladin or something. Like the bard just like beefs up the paladin, and the paladin's like this dude, like Dirk do right. I could even name him that. Dirk do right. All right, here's the bard. All right, here's Bard. Bard, level 1. Bam. Frontline and support. Yeah. Go fight, go paladin, go, bing, bong, bing, play the flute, whatever, harp, I don't know, whatever instrument I pick. Bart should be this. Bart the Bard. I could call him Brent. His name's Brent. The other guy's name is Shane or something. I don't know. Brent and Shane. Brent and John. Since my name is Irish for John. All right. Proficiencies. All right, let's do this, okay? Choose a musical instrument. Bagpipes. And then I get a bagpipe like music track that I just push whenever he plays it. And you know what the thing is? Bagpipes are kind of cool until you listen to them for more than like 3 minutes. Because then after that, you just hear, you hear that, like the constant, it's the, ugh. That comment was brought to you by The Wind, my wonderful partner. Oh, very nice. What do you think? What should I play? Horn? The sax. Make him like a beatnik bard. Yeah, this one's going on. You know, what's the Ron Swanson's alter ego in Parks and Rec? Duke. Is he the Duke? Can't remember his last name. Play the sax. The jazz clubs. What do we got here? Wargong, Zulkun, Yarding, Viol, Talkin. I don't even know half of these. Talkin, I am like ignorant. Talkin, Velar, Tan, Songhorn, Sham, Pan Flute, Zamfir, and a Pan Flute. Lyre, lute, longhorn, horn, hand drum, glower, flute, dulcimer, drum, bagpipes, bird pipes. Bagpipes are awesome. Bagpipes it is. It's my bagpipe imitation. You're welcome. All right. Choose. How many do I get? 3? It's got 3 slots here. Choose any. Well, skills. Choose any 3. So I get like 1 instrument. No. Tools. 3 musical instruments of your choice. Okay. All right. 3 of them. I get to play 3. I'm like a one-man band. That's what I should do. Drum on the back. Cymbals. Like cymbals on my legs, or no, tambourines on my feet, and then cymbals, right? Like boom, boom, bing, boom, boom, bing. And then like a harmonica, right? Oh man, I don't even know what half of these are, man. I'd have to Google them and wonder what they are. So we got bagpipes. Drum, I could go around doing rim shots, right? Like boom. Oh, I could have a paladin be a comedian, and then the bard could play rim shots. Right? I think I could do that. Let me see. Oh, it didn't play. Oh, it didn't come. I don't think it's coming through. I have the rim shot sound effect, but I don't think it's coming through and routed properly. Here, let me do this again. No. Nope, no work. All right. Come on, guys. You guys aren't helping out a lot. Come on, Victor. I don't know how many people are still around. All right. Let's pick something here. We got so what's the difference between a drum and a hand drum? horn and a longhorn. Longhorn's got to be like trombone, right? Conch. They don't have conch. I want to play the conch. Can I play the conch? It's not in the core books, Sean. Sorry. Oh, man. All right. We got to have a drum, I guess. Drum. And I don't know what any of this is. Ah, jeez. Lute? Gotta have a lute, right? A lute, a drum, and I think those would work. Bagpipes, fine. All right, choose skills. Choose a skill. First skill gotta be. I should just do like stuff like, I don't know, that everybody just never picks. Like, what do they never pick? History. Pick history 3 times, or it's just once. It's not like history this, history that, right? Performance. Or do you get performance free? Probably not, huh? Animal handling? Right. Animal handling. I could do animal handling and have my next guy have like a companion, right? And then the bard handles it for the other guy. Oh, man. Acrobatics. Should this guy just be the performer? Like, plays 3 instruments, acrobatics, handles animals. Like, he's like a circus clown, like a circus guy. Like, he's like a one-man circus. Animal handling? Think so? Performance, animal handling, and deception, like a bullshit artist. Aren't all bards bullshit artists? I don't know about animal handling. I don't know how if Brett puts me in streets, an urban setting, dude, animal handling could be. I wonder if Brett would be the guy where I would build a character and he would put me in an environment where nothing is relevant to me as a player character. Like, it'd be like, hey, make a character and I build a druid that's animal handling and he places me in the most industrial city ever. Yes. Victor, yes. Deception, yes. What? I'm behind. Does card tricks on the side? Oh, deception? Sure. Yeah, I could do that. Like, I could do the, hey, come on up here. Hey, do the shell game and all that stuff. Oh, man. But then you get to hear his thoughts about why he did that as a GM. True. What deception? There we go. Performance, animal handling, and deception. Yeah, because why not, right? Insight over animal handling. I don't want him to be too crazy. Baron Munchausen type. All right, we got it here. Bagpipes, drum, lute. Performance, insight, deception. To deceive you. Here we go. Got some move there. Don't let me get a coin in there. All right. I think that is it. Next step. Boink. All right. Choose a generation method. How about the cheat method? the manual. Oh, God. I don't know what to do here. Standard array? Point buy? Point buy, and then it's going to ask me what type of point buy, right? 27? Cleric of some wealth god. You know, one thing I could do is I could be a bard and do deception, insight, and religion. Is religion a skill? And then be a bard that pretends that he's a cleric. There's nobody to fool, right? There's nobody at the table to fool other than myself. Like, I'm a cleric who goes around preaching, and you know, I could be Steve Martin in that one where he plays the evangelical that goes town to town, and yeah, I don't even remember what it was called. Standard array. All right. Standard array. Boink. So charisma, got to be 15. What's the next one? What did it say? Dex, con, wisdom. Dex, con, wisdom. 8 strength, 10 intelligence. That's not bad, right? That's kind of standard. Bard to bardening. All right, there we go. And I get to modify them. So, I think it already does that. Base score. Okay. All right. I think I'm good. So I got a 16 charisma, 15 dex, 14 con, 13 wisdom, 11 intelligence, and a 9 strength. Next. Right. Background. Charlatan. Entertainer. Criminal. Folk hero. Gladiator. Should I put gladiator down? The bard who's got 3 instruments. Gladiator background. Oh, man. Guild artisan, haunted one, hermit, knight, noble, outlander, pirate, sage, sailor, soldier, urchin. Come on, guys. Get out with me. Urchin. I got to vote for urchin. Really? Oh, I don't like being a dirty bard. Not that all urchins are dirty, but a peddler. Just take a street urchin. Urchin? Yeah, I guess I could do that. Grew up on the streets, orphaned and poor. See, now this should be fighter. Fighter McFighter, whose parents were killed by orcs. Charlatan. I like charlatan, actually, right? I know what makes them tick. Tease out their heart's desires after a few minutes conversation. Deceit, right? And a few leading questions. You could read them like they were children's books. Yeah. Charlatan. Yeah, bard. Shit, yeah. Choose a skill. Get a bonus skill. All right. What's going to be? Perception? Persuasion. Got to be persuasion, right? Got to be persuasion. I can't take that one. Can't take that one away. Then you can make them female and their name can be Charlotte. Charlotte the Charlatan. Contraire, mon frere. All right, moving on. Starting equipment. Always fun to gear. Yeesh. Equipment. Choose equipment or gold. Oh, man, I hate this stuff here. Yuck, and yuck. Choose equipment or gold. Personal possessions. Gear. I have no items in my inventory. Add starting equipment above or add items from the list available. What am I doing here? All right. Starting equipment. Okay, here we go. Yeah, good. We'll do A rapier? A rapier? Or longsword? A rapier. Longsword, too cliche. I mean, cliche for, it's a better weapon. Diplomat's pack, entertainer's pack, right? A loot. Gotta have a loot. Leather armor and a dagger, set of fine clothes, disguise kit. Okay, that sounds good. 10 stoppered bottles filled with colored liquid. A set of weighted dice. A deck of marked cards. A signet ring of an imaginary duke. Oh yeah, you can't have a longsword with the strength of 9, right? You gotta have the dex piece. Yep. Good call, Roger. Starting, let's see. Bottles of colored liquid, weighted dice, deck of marked cards. Deck of marked cards, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Okay. Pouch of 15 gold. There, we'll just add that. Boom. Current inventory. Okay, great. I don't think I need to do anything there. I think I'm done, right? 15 gold left. Yeah. Add items. I think I'm good. I don't need to add anything. I'm good. I'm first level. What are you going to do? I think now I'm done, right? View character sheet. There's my guy. All right. 5 deception, +5, +5 performance, +5 persuasion, sleight of hand, +4. I think things are shaping up pretty well. Now we got to name him. Him or her. I made him, I don't know if I even specified male or female. Who would be the bard? I don't have spells. It did not prompt me for spells. Does not prompt you for spells? What are we going to name this guy? I'm running out of time, guys. I'm going to get this at least one done. Or them, indeed, Roger. I could call him Bird the Bard. Or Board the Bard. Bardy McBoardface. Bardy McBardface. I could call him Bardy the Bard. Orange Petal, what the hell is that? Brad the Bard. We'll call him Drab the Bard. Lard the Bard. 3 fingers. We'll call him Lard. Danger. Danger maybe? No. Danger. I could call him U. E-U-W-E? You. Hey, you. You the Bard. Lard the Bard. All right, I think I'm good. Lard the Bard. Yeah, spells. Do I gotta pick my spells? Where am I? What am I doing here? Or does it automatic spells? Here we go. Yeah, 1 first level. Okay. Why didn't it ask me to pick one? Manage spells. Add spells. So I get 2 cantrips. What do I pick? You guys even see these? I don't know if I can. Here we go. Filter by spell level. 0. There's cantrips. Blade War, Dancing Lights, Friends, Light, Mage Hand, Mending, Message, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, Thunderclap, True Strike, Vicious Mockery. Vicious Mockery. Oh, God, you guys really want me to ham it up, don't you? Vicious Mockery. 60-foot action, instantaneous wisdom, save, String of Insults. Saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage. Disadvantage on the next attack roll. All right. And Minor Illusion. Should I just say Roger created my character for me? Create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. The illusion also ends if you dismiss it as an action. So duration 1 minute. You create an image. Okay, the image can't create sound, light, or smell, or any other sensory effect. Oh, no. Of an image. Okay. Illusion? Yeah, mind illusion. Minor. If a creature uses its action to examine the sound or image, the creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence. I don't know, man. Illusion? Create an image of an object such as a chair, muddy footprints, or a small chest. It must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any. Okay, got it. I don't know. Merely suggestions. Prestidigitation. Create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect such as shower of sparks, puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor. You instantaneous light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire. Clean or soil an object, no larger. Okay. Chill, warm, or flavor up to. I like prestidigitation. Okay, I think I can get creative with that one. Let's go with that one. I usually pick that one. Let's go with that one. We'll learn that one. Learn. Where are you? All right. And get 4 first level? That's a lot. Do I get 4? Spell slots list first 2. Okay. I do not have any first level spells, but you can cast lower spells. Okay, I guess I can pick 2, right? That's what I'm gathering here. Known spells. It says 0 of 4. But I have 2 spell slots. So I get to pick 4 spells and then put them into 2 slots. Right. That makes sense. What do we gotta do here? So first level, let's kind of clear that out. Oop. First level, here we go. Charm Person, always a goodie, right? Let's go Charm Person. Let's do that one. Cure Wounds, gotta probably have Cure, right? Spontaneous Caster, that is not offered, sir. Are you saying I am a spontaneous caster? Probably. So you know 4 and can cast twice per long rest. Got it. So we got Charm Person, Cure Wounds, Dissonant Whispers, Terrible Pain. Takes 3 to 6 psychic damage. It must immediately use its reaction. Ooh. Metal, heavy metal. Probably my bagpipes would hurt theirs. Let's see. Healing Word. Do I do healing word or cure wounds? I gotta touch one, the other one I don't. That's the difference, I think. We'll go cure wounds. Heroism. Gotta have that, right? Until spend immune to be frightened. Gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcaster's ability modifier. I mean, I gotta bump up my buddy, right? Oh, and it's a bonus action. Hideous Laughter? A creature of your choice that you could see within range, just 30 feet, perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into its laughter if the spell affects it. Okay. Let's do that. I like that. Hideous Laughter. And Sleep. Well, Sleep's always a good one. Thunderwave. Wait a minute. Now, what's the difference between Hideous Laughter and Tasha's Hideous Laughter? One's Wisdom. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. I think they're about the same, right? Wisdom check. Wisdom. Okay. 4 or less. I don't know if there's a difference. Nothing. Flavor. Thanks, Michael. Okay. That takes care of that. Tasha's setting specific. Got it. All right. Heroism, maybe? Bane is like the cursed one, right? Like the other one gets screwed. 1 minute. Whenever a target that fails this saving throw makes an attack or save before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack or saving throw. Bane? Bane. Kind of like Bane. But you got to rely on them failing a save. Most of these do, I'm sure, but could give my guy a boon by heroism. I don't know. Thoughts? Long Strider makes me fast, right? Extra 10 feet. Silent Image. Silent Image. More offensive, yeah, for sure. Well, so maybe Thunder Wave's always a good one, right? Thunder! 2d8 thunder damage. Push 10 feet away. It's a fail safe. Range 15 feet. Man, I gotta get close to these guys. That's the only problem with Thunder Wave. Fairy Fire, 60 feet. No. Well, an attack roll against it has an advantage. Dissonant Whispers. Yeah. Dissonant Whispers. It's 3 to 6 psychic damage, man. Must use its reaction. If available, to move as far as its speed allows away from you. "60 feet. That's a good one. Let's do that. Boom. I am done. Whew. Remove this spell list. Right? All right. Now I think I'm good. Yeah. Armor class? What's my armor? 12? Oof. All right. Initiative +2. 10 hit points. Okay. All right. Yeah, light armor. Right. I think that's it, man. Let's call that a day, huh? I just hope I can find him. Lard the Bard. I gotta make up another one. Do I have enough time? Probably. I don't know. My dog might be waking up any minute now. Let's see. What do I need to do? Is this it? Like, it'll be in my character stuff, right? Oh, man. How do they organize this thing in here? Lard's at the end. Figures. Should delete all these. Okay. Lard. So I just gotta roll the bottom. Old newest, please. There we go. Lard at the top. Okay. Am I still paying for this? I have 40 unlimited. Oh, man. I don't even know if I'm paying for this. Better find out. My subscription? Because if I'm paying for it, no. I do have the D&D Master tier annually. Holy cow, it renews on the 19th? Oh, I think I got a downgrade. I'm not using this. What the hell have I been doing? No. I got a downgrade. Do I want it? Can I cancel? I don't even want to pay the hero. Yeah, cancel, man. I won't use this thing. Can I still use the character builder, right? I don't want unlimited characters. Okay. Cancel. Yeah, man. What am I doing? Feedback. I'll just say other. Thank you. Oh, man, I don't know how long I've been paying for that. At least 2 years. Never used it. Man, check your subscriptions, people. I'm surprised that card's even valid. See, it's true. Hey, Riddell. Sean is like my buddy who has had a World of Warcraft sub since launch and hasn't played in a decade. Yeah, man. All right. Should we get another one? Try to get another one in? Let's do it, huh? I wonder if I had shared books. Now I still have this plan currently, so I wonder. Where do I see everything I have? Collections? Game rules? Sources. I just wonder if I am under another friend's, like, you know, how you can, like, hey, I got the whole library, I'll share it with you, and then you have access to that. That happened. Like, I know one of the guys I gamed with had the whole spiel, the whole library, and shared it with me, but I don't have to be a master tier to have that, right? Where do I find it? Collections? My characters, my campaigns, maybe? I don't know. See, like, here's Tomb of Annihilation and Curse of Strahd. Sources, maybe. Adventures. So if I click on an adventure and I can access it, then I'm probably good, right? So let's say I don't have do not have Out of the Abyss. Oh. Look at that, I think. Huh. Wow, I must still be under somebody's stuff. Or maybe it's because you don't get access to it for just being the DM tier, right? Dude, I'm freaking lost, man. Books, maybe? Mordenkainen? Tome of Foes? Yeah, look at that, man. I don't have any restriction. Maybe that'll go bye-bye. Anyways, let's create a tune. Create a character. Standard again. All right, let's do this. Multi-class requirements, feats. If you paid for that content, you keep it even if you stop the sub. I didn't pay for all that, though. I mean, I think I paid for Curse of Strahd, Tomb of Annihilation. Like, there's a few books. I think the Player's Handbook, DMG. But, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I paid for everything that's listed there. Like the adventures, I don't have that. All right. Anyways. Display and highlight available spells to cast with higher level spell slots. I don't know. Do I need that? Encumbrance. All right. I think Square's top. Right? All right. I think I'm good, right? PC2. I'll call him PC1 again because the other one's Lard. I think I'm good. Did I check all the boxes? I think I'm good. All right, let's just do this thing. All right, now what am I going to do now? Sources, basic rules, boom, back to square one. Dragonborn? Paladin? Should we do a Paladin? Dirk, do right? Should I make him Dirk do right? I am Dirk, and this is my bard friend Lard. Paladin it is. Let's do Paladin. Human Paladin? Half-orc Paladin. 2 humans? Gnome Paladin? Skipped a step. Got to pick a race. Choose a race. Who gets half-orc all the way? Half-orc Paladin?
Hey, I'm Dirk. Do right. This is my bard friend, Lard.
Mountain Dwarf. Mountain Dwarf Paladin? Yeah, they're killing me here. Gotta get going. Run out of time. I think I gotta hang it up at 11:30 Central Time, so in 15 minutes. Because by that time, my dog's teeth will be floating. Mountain Dwarf Paladin? All right, we'll go Mountain Dwarf. Half-orc, I don't know if I want to do that, Roger. We'll go with this one. Choose race. All right, cool. Tool proficiency. Mason, Smith. Brewer? Be drunk all the time? Be good to each other. Bill Blake. You guys know that one? Barfly? Bill Blake. All right. Brewer Supplies. Here we go. Paladin. All right. Boom. Let's do it. Proficiencies. Should we not pick religion? Tabaxi. Is that core? That's not core, is it? Tabaxi's not core. Red Elk. Gotta go core, buddy. So, paladin skill. Medicine and athletics. Yeah, I can't do non-core, buddy. It's core books. Brett stipulates. It's probably like the only thing he stipulated. So medicine and athletics. Fair. All right. I think that's it. And that one. Next. Generation. We did what? Standard array. So for Paladin, is it still, what is it? Krasma? What is it for Paladin? For skill, what's the skills or ability breakdown for Paladin? I don't even remember. Used to be Krasma, strength, right? Con. Charisma, strength, con. Wisdom, intelligence, dex? I don't remember. Help a brother out. Core ability, Paladin. Primary dex or strength. Double charisma party. Yeah, of course. We're the shining. Oh, it's charisma, wisdom, strength? Charisma, wisdom, strength. Con? Dump, score. Dex? Or intel? Right? Got the smart bard and the dumb Clarendon? Clarendon. Huh. Cleric? What do you think? Charming duo. Call them the charming duo. Dump int? Yeah, that's how I got. Dump int. Okay. There we go. Next. Background. Choose an option. Acolyte. Knight, noble. Fighting for who is face. Yes, for sure. No, let me talk. No, please. Okay. I would love for the Paladin to be like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, where he's like, if you've ever seen that show, Ricky talks himself out of everything, but he gets all the cliches wrong. Like soldier, I guess I could do soldier. Train his youth. Soldier, soldier seems so cliche. Thinking knight. I don't know. Maybe he's a knight. Like, you understand wealth, power, and privilege, and he hates it. Folk hero? Oh, what's that about? Let me see. Humble social rank, but you're destined for so much more. Already the people of your home village regard you as their champion, and your destiny calls to you stand against tyrants and monsters. Yeah. Maybe folk hero. Two charlatans? The paladin is a charlatan. Acolyte? Pirate. There is pirate. Pirate paladin? Pirate paladin of Vinzance. Oh man, I'm gonna run out of time before I get this one out. Besides, I gotta really pee. Holy cow, my bladder's full. It's like a coffee and a 20-ounce of soda. All right, we gotta go. Let's do. Yep, that's my sign. I gotta go. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll post it out there. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it. So, it's Monday night, 8 p.m. gamingandbs.com/YouTube. You'll witness Brett run me these two characters through a short little adventure scenario and see what happens. If you found any value in today, despite the screw ups at the beginning, give us a like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, keep gaming and do yourself a favor. Keep gaming and remember, be a positive force in the TTRPG hobby. Take care. We'll see you later.